Mariana considers herself the best wedding planner. She believes that it's her job to make couples believe they are in love so they can make more money. Her MO is like this. During the couple's interview, she would tell them she couldn't organize their wedding if she didn't see the love between them. Of course, it's just a ruse so Mariana can convince them to use the best and most likely expensive materials for their wedding to show their true love. And oftentimes, it works. For Mariana, it's all just strategies to earn money and establish herself. On the other hand, it's another question of whether she truly believes the couples are in love. After another successful day of booking several weddings, Mariana comes home to find her sister, Ale, there. Ale helps in Mariana's work, and they work together well. Mariana notices the suitcases, which Ale explains right away. She wants to stay with her sister while she waits for her scholarship confirmation from abroad. Mariana is relieved because she initially assumes that their mother's boyfriend is moving in with them. Speaking of their mother, Elena comes down to meet her daughters, and as it turns out, Epi, their mother's boyfriend, will also be joining them for dinner. Mariana interrogates Epi over dinner. The old man doesn't seem to mind, as he's more focused on being sweet with Elena. Epi is 65, widowed, and has a daughter from his first marriage. Ale tries to subdue her sister's interrogation, saying it has become a sort of tradition whenever they meet their mother's new boyfriend. In the next scene, we see Mariana helping her client wear the wedding gown. It's the big day, and the client, whose name is Begonia, is filled with nerves. She seems to be convincing herself that this wedding is the right thing to do. Mariana is used to brides' wedding jitters, but there are moments when she knows there's something more than just anxiety. And she's right. Begonia confesses that she made out with Robertito, her groom's best friend, during her bachelorette party. She doesn't want to hurt Fede, her fiancé, but she loves Robertito. And now, she doesn't know what to do. In these scenarios, Mariana has a solution. She calls her assistant Magali and pretends to commence Operation Elopement. The bride wants to elope with the groom's best friend, so the poor groom should be entertained with some girls. Begonia comes to her senses and stops Mariana. She doesn't want to hurt Fede. Mariana tells Begonia her story to calm her. She says she was once in Begonia's place, full of doubts about her wedding. In the end, Mariana realized that the only things that mattered were the smiles and shared moments, the support, and the intimacy. Once true love was found, there was no other option but to take the leap and say the 3 words. Begonia is confused, because as far as she knows, Mariana returned the ring to her ex. Ignoring this comment, Mariana convinces Begonia that this is the start of her new life, so she shouldn't waste it over a one-time kiss. Mariana also convinces the bride that she's okay with her ex. In fact, it's her ex who'll bake the wedding cake. In his empty restaurant, Luis continues to decorate the wedding cake. Then, his good friend and roommate Lucia enters. Lucia comes from Colombia, and she's having a hard time adjusting in Mexico due to legal matters of her citizenship. She's aware of Luis's history with Mariana, although she hasn't met the woman. Luis continues to convince his friend that 1. He's over his ex, 2. He's doing this catering because Mariana is his client, and 3. He still wishes to pursue his dream restaurant despite the fact that both of them used to dream of this. Lucia accompanies Luis in delivering the cake to the venue. After settling the product with the caterers, Luis sees that the reception is in full swing. He finds Mariana consoling a guy, then walking away in a hurry. Luis meets her. The two have an awkward conversation, trying to find out anything new about each other. A sudden inspiration comes to Luis. He points to Lucia and introduces her as his girlfriend. Mariana remains cool, although she points out how fast Luis has moved on from their relationship. But then Luis drops the bombshell. He and Lucia are going to get married, and he wants Mariana to organize it. Mariana quickly regains her composure after receiving this news. Then she smiles, as she knows well that Luis is the type of man who wants to get married no matter what. She takes the job and tells him she'll see them in her office. At that point, the guy Mariana was consoling earlier came to interrupt the DJ. That guy is Robertito. With the powers of liquor in his system, he reveals to everyone that he loves Begonia, and they made love just last night. This unfortunate announcement leads to chaos. But at least Begonia and Robertito are free to love each other now. Sitting amongst the ruins of the reception, Mariana tells Magali that they will be planning Luis's wedding next. Based on Mariana's teary eyes, Magali knows this is not a good idea, as it's obvious Mariana hasn't completely moved on. Even Ale, who learned about this, reminds her sister it's psychopathic to plan her ex's wedding. Meanwhile, Luis confides to his best friend Dione about his plan. Just like the others, Diony isn't on board with this, but Luis insists he wants to teach his ex a lesson. He still hasn't forgotten how Mariana refused his proposal and returned his ring. He still needs to convince Lucia, though. Lucia has agreed to pretend to be his girlfriend, but not to the extent of getting married. Luis promises this won't be a hassle. This will all be just for show. After they get married, Lucia will get her Mexican citizenship, and she can live her life freely. Then, after 2 years, they can divorce each other. After a few more convincing, Lucia finally relents. Diony takes a video of Luis proposing to Lucia to start their pretend play, and uploads it on social media. Mariana sees the video, which fuels her desire to continue planning her ex's wedding. The next week, Luis and Lucia meet with Mariana to have their preliminary interview. Mariana discovers that Lucia is wearing the ring she returned to Luis when she refused his proposal. Mariana tries to make sense of Luis and Lucia's dynamic as a couple, wanting to see if the relationship is fake. To Luis and Lucia's credit, they're both good actors. They've managed to convince Mariana. Lucia even came up with a hashtag for their wedding, #LuisTia. Mariana keeps her smile, but her mind continues to curse Luis and Lucia. After this tense meeting, the pretend couple goes to a bar to discuss what happened. Luis thinks Mariana isn't suspecting anything, which means they're both doing a good job. The bartender, Ramona, approaches them and greets Luis, her good friend. But Luis notices the instant connection between her and Lucia. Diony appears, which confuses Luis because he was supposed to be with them earlier. Diony is being coy about it, but in truth, he has just come from a quick but passionate tryst with Ale. Unbeknownst to everyone, Diony and Ale are in a romantic relationship. In the next scene, we see Mariana get a visit from Bertha, Luis's mom. Bertha brings her tiramisu, her favorite dessert. It is then that Bertha discovers Luis's supposed marriage. Mariana finds this suspicious. Why would Luis's mother not know about the wedding? This only gives her more reason to believe that Luis is doing this out of spite. If so, then she'll do her best to give them the wedding they'll never forget. In between the preparations for the wedding, Mariana still finds time to bond with her family. Interrogation Part 2 happens when Epi joins them at a dance club. Epi genuinely wants to get to know his girlfriend's daughters more. Ale has already warmed up to Epi, but Mariana still has her walls up. She uses her skills in reading people to make conclusions about Epi. In the end, Mariana decides that the old guy is just a regular man. Wedding preparations resume. Mariana guides Luis and Lucia in different aspects of a wedding, like the theme, the flowers, and even the music. Throughout the process, Mariana sees the quiet sweetness of the couple, which makes her doubt her own motivations in planning this wedding. Lucia enjoys some parts of the planning, but she finds this a hindrance in her getting to know Ramona more. After their first meeting, the instant connection is clear between the two. They both want to see each other more. Meanwhile, Diony and Ale encounter a challenge in their carefree relationship. Ale has received affirmation about her scholarship. Diony finds out about this only then, but he tries to hide his dismay. Part of the wedding preparations is the cake tasting. So, Mariana and Ale make a surprise visit to Luis's apartment, bringing different types of cakes. The occupants, Luis, Diony, Lucia, and Ramona, are unprepared but still welcome the sisters. This is perhaps the most tense cake tasting in the history of cake tasting. Mariana prowls around the table trying to find a hint of fakeness. Ale discreetly tries to question Diony if Ramona is indeed Lucia's best friend. Although he loves Ale, Diony is loyal to Luis and refuses to snitch on him. Luis instructs Lucia to pretend that she likes tiramisu. This is significant because tiramisu is Mariana's favorite dessert. In addition, Luis's own recipe includes a hint of orange. Luis tells everyone that the flavor was accidental because Mariana once dropped orange essence into his tiramisu. Since then, he has made it that way. The cake tasting ends with Lucia deciding that tiramisu will be her wedding cake. After this, Mariana and Lucia go together to find the perfect wedding dress. This is also a good opportunity for her to learn more about Lucia. Mariana convinces Lucia that the red and black floral dress fits perfectly with Lucia's vision of her wedding. Lucia thinks the dress is too small for her, so Mariana gives her a tonic that prevents bloating. After that, Mariana takes her to a diner, where she used to eat with Luis. Lucia gets frank with Mariana. She tells Mariana that Luis wanted to get married, but he wanted to marry Mariana because he loved her very much. Although she still pretends that things are different now, Lucia is trying to make Mariana see that Luis didn't just want a wedding, he wanted to start a life with her. Unfortunately, Mariana refuses to listen. The two women go home to find a surprise from Bertha. This is like the bridal shower. However, it gets ruined when Lucia starts to feel nauseated, no thanks to the tonic Mariana gave her. The next day, Elena visits her daughters in their office to bring some good news. She and Epi are engaged to be married, but Mariana is not happy about it. She points out that this has happened before. Elena keeps changing boyfriends because she's afraid of commitment, and that's why both Mariana and Ale have to look after each other. Elena is offended, but she realizes her daughter is right. Elena and Ale leave Mariana stewing in her bad mood. Meanwhile, Luis tries to convince Lucia to get up for their dance rehearsal, but Lucia is still not feeling well. Ramona is there for her, but she's already fed up with this childish setup between the two. Ramona knows the true story, but she feels awkward continuing her relationship with Lucia when they both know she's going to marry Luis, whether for real or not. She finally walks out of the apartment. Disappointed, Luis attends the dance practice alone. Because Mariana and Luis are the only ones present, the dance instructor tells them to practice the steps, and then Luis can teach Lucia later. Through this activity, some of the passion reignites between Luis and Mariana. They both decide to remain civil despite this. Luis invites Mariana to the supposed restaurant of their dreams. Mariana smiles as she can see that he hasn't changed the place much from when they decorated it. They enjoy a delicious meal on the rooftop, prepared by Luis. There, Mariana reveals that part of the reason why she refused the marriage was because she's afraid it will fail like her mother's. She was afraid she'd fail after all. Luis understands. Their conversation becomes more intimate until they finally give in to their feelings. However, after sharing the sweet moment, Mariana and Luis have a heated argument, and in this, we learn their differences. Mariana never wanted to marry, and Luis is in love with the idea of a wedding without considering her feelings. In their differences, they have forgotten what they have in common: their love. Mariana returns home to find Dione and Ali in the act. Ali ignores Dione and tells him to leave. Once alone, the sisters end up arguing over why Ali would hide her relationship. This ends with Al leaving the house too. Feeling cornered and alone, Mariana confides in Magali about her troubles. Ale runs to Elena and Epi to vent. Meanwhile, Luis, Lucia, and Dione drink their problems away on the rooftop. It seems like it's the night of arguments and reflections. Eventually, Mariana realizes it's time to face the truth. Magali helps her realize that it's not about not wanting to get married. To Mariana, it's about avoiding getting hurt in the long run and ending up like her mother. But that's not how things work. No one knows what the future in store, but they still choose to marry because of love. That weddings are only the start of a new life, and not the end of the beginning. On the other hand, Luis makes it up to Lucia and Ramona by preparing a date for them. He apologizes for starting this scheme and involving both women. Lucia and Ramona forgive him. The wedding will still push through, but Luis promises to let Lucia go as soon as possible. Ale meets with Dione. He says he still supports her in her career, although he'll miss her greatly. This makes Ale realize that she's not ready to leave. When she comes home, she finds her mother and sister patching things up from their argument earlier. Ale gets emotional thinking about her eventual departure for her scholarship. She apologizes to Mariana, to which Mariana returns with a teary apology as well. The sisters hug, and Elena envelops them in her arms. At last, the day of the wedding has arrived. Mariana announces to her team that this will be the last wedding she'll organize, and since this is the last, she wants everything to be right, for Luis's sake. During the ceremony, Mariana looks wistfully as Luis and Lucia exchange vows. Then she has an epiphany. In the end, all that matters are the smiles and shared moments, the support and intimacy. Mariana blurts out that she loves Luis, loud enough for everyone to hear. Dione distracts the pastor, while Luis runs to Mariana. Luis finally reveals that the wedding is a sham. He still loves Mariana. As proof, Ramona runs to Lucia and kisses her ardently. Luis continues to say that he doesn't care if he gets married to Mariana, as long as he spends the rest of his life with her. Finally, Mariana admits that she still loves him. She is now ready to spend her best days with him for the rest of her life, married or not, and then they seal their second chance in love with a kiss.